We put a plan in place that would protect leaders' income. That's what we did. We did a protection plan. I mean, because we had to address those issues. Does that make sense? And you know, I'm talking to leaders, and whether you're online or whether you're here, we're a publicly traded company, so everything's out there, so we don't have to play games. We don't have to sugarcoat things. We just can talk about it the way it is. We went from 450 million to 178 million. That's a major drop for business. So from 2007 to 2013, we were in protection mode. And when you're in protection mode, you try to limit the downturn, and you mitigate the downturn, and you try to keep people as level as you can. However, in 2013, Manatech started to grow again. So a comp plan that was set up to protect is not going to be good when you're trying to grow. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because when you're trying to grow, what you want to do is you want to incentivize people to grow, not to just protect. So we're no longer in protection mode. Since 2013, Manatech has been growing again, and we expect that growth to continue and to accelerate. And for that, we need to put a comp plan in place that will actually incentivize those who are growing. I'll be honest, this is a do something plan, right? It's a do something plan. That's what it should be. Okay, you can never set up a comp plan just for people who are not doing anything. If every time you pay somebody who's not doing anything, you're taking away from somebody who's doing something. Because there's only so much money that we can disperse. Manatech paid 43% before, paid 43% now, and we'll pay 43% in the future. So we're not changing how much percentage of the pie. We already have one of the largest payout percentage in the industry. That's not going to change. What we got to do is we got to do a couple of things. Number one, we got to make sure that we are incentivizing the right behavior, right? So that means we got to incentivize things like selling. You know, we're going to talk a lot about customers. Folks, it's very important we understand. Any legitimate business has what? Customers. We need to have a plan that supports, not only supports, encourages for people to have customers. Say it with me. Customers are good. We love customers.
We love.
Okay, right. We love customers. We got to, guys. You got to legitimize our business model. We need to have customers. Now, so selling is one of those. In this industry, we are always expanding our base of active distributors. People who are out there, right? We want to go out in the world, and people, we want these raving fan customers to now become promoters of our products, right? So we have to be in a recruiting mode, right? I mean, who doesn't recruit? Every company in the world, if I was going to start a company right now in Vancouver, I would have to recruit people. You have to bring people into the organization. Your organization is only as good as the people you have in the organization. So we're going to do what? We're going to have to continue to bring people into the organization, expand this thing, especially now that we're in 26 countries. We want to expand this thing all over the world. So we want people to go out and find people who are, they're probably going to start as customers. They're going to be excited, raving fan customers, and then they're going to be promoters. So we need to be able to incentivize recruiting. The other thing we need to incentivize is developing leaders. Developing leaders. This plan is absolutely amazing when you are developing leaders in so many different levels, existing leaders, new leaders. You are going, those of you who are out there talking to people, this is going to be an amazing plan. Every time you bring somebody in and you help them grow, you grow.
Yes.
Okay? I can tell you something about our old plan. For some reason, I'm sure that's not how it was intended, but we got a plan where when your people grow, your check is less because somebody cuts you off. Now that happens in a lot of comp plans. It's not unique to Manatech, but because it's a roll-up plan, you're getting paid for what your people are not doing, and then when they start doing it, they get the pay and you don't have it, so now you have less. Well, that is not a very exciting plan. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's exciting when you're getting what other people are not getting, but it's not exciting when they start getting what they're supposed to get, and now all of a sudden you're not getting it, and it feels bad. The worst thing that can happen in a comp plan is Congratulations, you just became a new bronze presidential, you lost $1,000. But congratulations. I'm going to give you $2.50 spin. You're going to be excited. We're going to walk on stage. We're going to give flowers while your wife is going, what happened? We just got $1,000 less. Those kinds of things we have to get, we have to fix. Okay. Now, how do I know that? Because for 9 years, you've been telling me that. Originally it was at bronze and at silver. We fixed silver. We never fixed bronze. So there was some incongruencies in the plan. There was things that created conflict. It created conflict in terms of what you need to do, but when you did it, it didn't give you the kind of benefit financially that you expected. Does that make sense? Guys, this is being real. I'm not sugarcoating it. We're not here to hear stories. We're here to deal with something that's very, very important. Now, how people get compensated, I take that very seriously. And that's the reason why it's taken us almost 2 years to get to the point where I feel I can get in front of you and be excited about what we're about to unroll. Okay, I've just been around the world, literally from Dallas to UK to Australia, or South Africa to Australia, Australia to Japan, Japan to Korea, around, and now in Vancouver via Costa Rica, right? And next week I'll be in Mexico, and we're co-creating this thing together. Now, one of the things I want to say to you today, if you're watching online, if you're here in the room, is as much as we think we have it almost there, we're still taking feedback. We're still taking feedback. As a matter of fact, I can tell you just from when we started back in November last year with the NAC, the North American Council, we showed you the first iterations of the plan, and then we went from there to Summit. We showed it at Summit. I probably spent 18, 24 hours of talking with different leaders. The plan got tweaked a little bit better. Then on my last trip, we got some additional input. We were able to include those input, and we've made it even a better plan. So this is not going to be a surprise. So a lot of companies like to surprise you with a new comp plan. This is not going to be a surprise. And that's why we're here. And we're still doing it at a time where there's still chances to do some adjustments that makes it a better plan. So as you're watching, I don't want you to just watch in terms of my information to you. I want you to be also thinking about, hey, ideas that you have, especially those of you that have been around a long time, things you feel could make this a better plan. And now we're getting close. We probably got maybe 1 or 2 more modeling to do. There'll be about 21 iterations of the modeling. We have never modeled that much, guys, in the history of the company. So for some of you that maybe have some concerns, and you should have concerns, this is a very important thing, understand what's different this time than any time we've done this before is that we really put a lot of effort and a lot of energy, a lot of money into the modeling. Does that make sense? So what we did is we took a period of time, which started probably about 18 months ago, and then and we said, okay, this is the base. Okay, this is what it looked like, 18 months ago. And every time we created another alteration to the plan, we model it, say, okay, let's compare old versus new. When we compared old versus new, this is what we did. We made sure there was about 200 people that we knew were the active, engaged leaders in all over the world. And every time we did, we went back, okay, how did these 200 people do? If they did better, then that was a good plan. If they didn't do better, it was not a good plan. Because this plan is absolutely to be able to do what? To reward those who are engaged, active, building the business. Now, at the same time, we looked at the other side. There's been people for the last 22 years who have been the pillars of this company, the people who created what we have today. We want to make sure that that's also pretty much protected as well. Okay, as much as we could. Now, also, we also know, and there's a concept you're going to have to keep in mind, it's called transition. We're going to have what I call a 6 months transition. Then we have what they call a year transition. Transition means is as we switch the plan, if there's people who are going to be affected by the plan, because some people are going to be affected by the plan because they didn't build it exactly the way that we're going to be incentivizing you to build, we will make them whole for a period of time to give them a chance to do what? To readjust their business building things so they can get to the point where they can take full advantage of the plan. So that makes, you know what I'm saying? So we're not the kind of company that we're going to turn it on and if you did great, great. If you didn't do good, sorry. No, we are also very sensitive to the fact that this is your livelihood, and we're going to respect your livelihood, and we're going to make sure that along the way, there's going to be a period of time where we are making sure that you are whole. Whole meaning, you know, that you haven't lost any money. That makes sense? So that's also part of this whole thing. So what were the things that we were dealing with? Right? The first thing that we were dealing with is the idea of simplicity. Folks, I'm reminded that we got an award when we launched the plan years ago. We got an award, and that award was for creativity. Okay? Being a creative plan doesn't mean you are a good plan. It doesn't mean you were very creative. When you can figure out 18 ways to pay people, you are very creative. It doesn't mean that's a good plan, always. Okay? Because if you can't explain the plan, is that a good plan? After 23 years, I'm really amazed. There's still people who still have no idea how they get paid. And every month is like opening a fortune cookie. See what happens. When it's good, you probably don't know why it's good unless you call us and we tell you why it was good. And if it's not good, you don't know why it wasn't good because, you know, we have to call us and we got to tell you what happened. Guys, a good plan, it should be this. Do this, get that. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
If you know exactly what you got to do to get what you need to get, then it makes it a good plan. Then what we're doing is we're shaping behavior. What kind of behavior? The kind of behavior that will enable you to create a sustainable, long-term, profitable, business. What do we want you to do? We want you to do the things that will help you have a long-term, sustainable, profitable business. A business you can pass on to your children and your grandchildren. A business that is going to continue to grow because it was built on strong foundations. You guys follow me?
Yes. Yes.
Whenever a plan does not incentivize the right behaviors and people feel like they have to game it, they have to do things around it, and people are very smart. See, energy flows where money goes. People will always figure out something. It's not always the right things. So you don't want to have a plan that is so complicated that people have to find some workarounds in order to make the plan work. It should be very simple. If I do this, I get that. If I sell products, this is what I make. If I bring people in my organization, this is what I get. If I grow my volume, this is what I get. If I develop leaders, this is what I get. Hello?
Yes.
And at the end of the day, if I create volume, because volume is going to be key. You got to get paid on volume. Volume is the thing that stops all the gaming. See, when plans are based on structures, it's easy to game. But when it's based on volume, volume is a leveler. It makes it everything right. I'm going to tell you something. This plan is going to reward people with big volume in a way that you could not even imagine. I mean, when we share some numbers with some of our leaders in Asia who have very large volume, I mean, I've seen grown men cry, literally. And you know what? It was a good feeling to know that finally, I almost felt like I should apologize because these people deserve to have much, much, much greater income for the volume they were creating. See, in the protection plan, when you have a plan that protects, we try to make everybody very equal. That only works for a little while. Because see, performers, producers, if they don't get rewarded properly, they're going to stop producing. Does that make sense? If I reward people the same way, those who produce and those who don't produce, then the producers are going to stop producing. Why produce if I'm going to get the same as the non-producers? So there's got to be, it has to be a meritocracy. Meritocracy, right? The more you do, the more you earn. And this plan absolutely does that, okay? Now, we started from 8 principles. Growth comes from sales, retention, and recruiting. So the idea here is growth. This plan is for growth. It's for people who grow. When you grow, this plan works for you. When you don't grow, it's okay. And I have to say something about the old plan. You realize in the old plan, we created 250 people who made over $1 million with Manatech, right? We have over 250 people who've made over $1 million with Manatech over the last 23 years. Is that good? Good. Of course it is. So when I say that, I want to make sure you understand. It's the plan that still rewarded success. A lot of it when the company was growing, not so much when the company was not growing, but it did work for quite a while. So I don't want everybody leaving here thinking, oh, we had the worst plan in the world. No, we had actually a very good plan. I came from a company that had the worst plan in the history of humanity. But still they created many multi-millionaires. Because at the end of the day, the comp plan is only a piece of the whole. You know what? If you have bad products and you have a great comp plan, is that sustainable? No. Because you know what? Bad products, eventually people are going to realize it's bad products. They're going to stop buying. And if they stop buying, there's no volume. If there's no volume, it doesn't matter. If you pay 80% of zero, it's still zero. Does that make sense? So you got to start with products that work, value, because growth can only come from customers buying our products every month for the rest of their lives. And we have those kinds of products. We have the kind of product that when people stop, they won't stop. Why? They don't want to stop having that feeling they get when they take our products. And that's the number one key for us to continue to be a long-term, sustainable, profitable business. So sales is key. Retention is key. Retention of customers, right? If you have a business where customers come in, they buy once, they never buy again, you got to go get new customers, get new customers, get new customers. After a while, it's a job. It's not a business, it's a job. You want a business where you bring the customers once, you make an effort once, but then it's, those customers become what I call residual customers. See, when you have residual customers, then you can have residual income. But when you don't have residual customers, there's no residual income. It's just a lot of work that you're going to have to do on an ongoing basis. Something is going on with our Zoom. Just want to let you know.
Lori came in.
Okay.
Where is she?
All right. No, I just. But anyways, I mean, it might be fine. I just noticed there was something there that was going a little off. But anyway, so sales, retention, retaining customers, and retaining associates, distributors, promoters. Right? We want to be a plan. Now, how do you keep promoters on? You keep promoters on. My mentor used to tell me there's two reasons why people stay in your business. Because they are making money, or because they think they're going to make money. That's why people stay. I've seen too many people who love their products, but at some point in time, guess what they did? They left. Why did they leave? For the money. For the money. So I don't want to sound like it's all about the money, but people have to eat. People have to pay rent. They have to drive a car. They have to put gasoline in the gas tank. They got to send their kids to college. I mean, people need money. And when they don't see the hope of making money, guess what they do? They go somewhere else. The worst thing I've ever heard is, I need to go somewhere else to make money so I can come and buy your products. I love your products. Yeah. Come on. I mean, that's the worst thing you could possibly tell me. So that's why, I mean, I'm kind of really excited about where we're going because, in the industry, there's never been a doubt. When I talk to you, or I talk to leaders in other companies, people always say to my face, Manatech, oh yeah, you guys have the best products in the industry, but your opportunity sucks. Now that's not true, but that's the perception. It's a perception we created because we, as Manatechers, and that's a good thing, we don't go around flashing checks or fancy cars or big homes, but that's not the kind of people we are. We love talking about the science. We get really passionate about the product. We want to change people's lives, right? But we don't. So because we never done that, people really think there's no money in Manatech. So when I tell them that 250 people in Manatech have made over $1 million, they're shocked. When, now when you find out that Ray Robbins, our #1 distributor, is the #8 top earner in the industry overall, you go, wow, I guess there is some money in Manatech. But you guys understand now, if we're a company with the best products in the industry, and all of a sudden, come July 2017, on July 31st, 2017, something unique, unprecedented is going to happen. Like Halley's Comet. It really happens every 20 years. But this one, when it happens, on July 31st, when we close the month, by the way, it's going to be a month, not a BP. Not a BP. I just want to let you know right now. We're out of the BP business because we don't want, look, I am tired that every new distributor has to learn a new calendar to do business with us. There's the Mayan calendar, there's a Chinese calendar, there's a Manatech calendar. Guys, that is so non-productive. Oh, but we get 13 checks. Yes. Do you know how many people you lose every year just because they get double charged in 1 month? Do you know how many people you lose because a credit card get charged every BP at a different day? Because they never know. They can't keep up with when the auto order is gonna. How about if auto order was the same day of the month for the rest of your life? Would you get used to that? Would you know like when your credit card needs to be ready, for that thing to come true? Guys, there's so many things we've done to make our life so complicated, and we've been like the ostriches, with our heads in the sand, thinking, oh, this is Manatech. We're special. Guys, yeah, we're special. We're special because our products are special, but my business methods don't make sense sometimes. And we got to realize that. If we want to have a big business, if we want to be a billion-dollar company, let's start acting like a billion-dollar company. And right, and a billion-dollar company does things in normal way. Because people don't have time, they're too busy to be thinking, oh, when is my order going to be processed this month? I don't know. Or let me call customer service and find out. No, come on. It's the 3rd of the month, every month for the rest of your life, okay? It's the 15th of the month, every month for the rest of your life. That's it. You're done, right? Does that make sense? Now, as a company, I'll tell you what, we love 13 periods because we get to cover, we get you to buy products 13 times instead of 12 times. So we lose 8% technically, right? No, we don't. And I'm going to show you why we don't. Because for you, it's a few $1,000s. For us, it's a few $1 million. You don't think we've thought about it? Yes, we have. No company wants to go, oh, we're just going to take an 8% cut on our value. No. But I'm going to show you why we're not going to get an 8% cut. And I'm going to show you why you're not going to get an 8% cut. And then you know what? And then from now on, our retention is going to be a whole lot better. We have the worst retention in the industry. In 1 year, only 24% of people are still in business with us after 1 year. I'm not proud of that. And I don't mind saying it. We're going to change that. The average in the industry is between 40 and 50. Good companies keep 50 to 60% of their people. Why do we keep 24% of our people? Because we've made it way too hard to do business with Manatech. Just because we have great products doesn't give us the right to make it hard for people to do business with us. Doesn't make sense. That's like shooting yourself in the foot. If we're going to become a billion-dollar company, we got to start becoming a little bit more like normal business. Now in Canada, that means a lot of things. Some things you like, some things you don't like. Like it doesn't make sense in Canada for us to be doing business in dollars. Now the place got really quiet. But that's true. We keep doing these things to ourselves, and then we wonder, so when the Canadian dollar becomes 75 cents, all of a sudden your products just got a 25% increase. Is that good? No. You guys think that's good? No. Oh, but I get my checks in dollars. I love it when I get my checks. But your checks are getting smaller and smaller and smaller because your customers are leaving you. Because your customers cannot pay 25% more for the products that are already premium priced products. They're great products, but you know what? There's a breaking point somewhere where it doesn't make sense. You follow me? Yes. So we got to start thinking about how we're going to do things the right way. Now, don't get worried. It's not happening today, but I just want to plant that seed in everybody's mind because it's part of simplifying how we do business. Okay? All right. And then obviously bringing new people, new customers, and new promoters is important. How about this? The only way to advance is to lift others. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
What if you had a plan where every time somebody in your business grows, it benefits you? Instead of, oh my God, if they grow, I might lose money. Which one feels better? If they grow, I benefit, or if they grow, I lose money. Which one you like better? Benefit. This plan has no roll-ups. You always get everything you're supposed to get at whatever level you are. And I can assure this is something I want to make sure goes on record. I said it right here on March the 5th in Vancouver. Mathematically impossible to grow your business, to move ranks, and make less money. We have absolutely made sure that every time you grow, your check grows. Hello?
Yeah.
I hope you got it. I hope you all got it, right? Okay? Because that's the way it should be. You should never be surprised that if you did more, you got paid more. Right? It's surprising if you do more and you get the same pay. That's surprising. But if you do more, you should get more. And that's how we're going to do that. People will go where the opportunity flows. Well, that's an easy legal way to say it. I say that people go where the money flows. So even when I show you some of the numbers I'm going to show you today, it's based on old behavior. Old behavior is people have figured out a way to maximize the plan as it exists today. So if it's a convoluted plan, you've done some very convoluted things to adapt to the plan. If we make the plan simple, you only have to do simple things to maximize the plan. But you're going to do what it takes to really get better. So we know this, so that's why we're going to put the money where we want your energy to go. Selling, right? Bringing new customers, bringing new associates, growing leaders, retaining customers, retaining leaders, right? That's what we need to do. That's all we need to do. And then the money will be there. Now, when the money is in the right place, you as leaders never have to work too hard trying to motivate people to do the right things. Why? Because the plan will motivate them to do the right things. You follow me?
Yes.
The plan becomes a tool. It's a tool for bringing new people in. Let me go back to July 31st. July 31st, when we close the books at midnight on July 31st, we will break more new presidentials, more new silvers, more new golds, more new platinums in 1 month than we have done in the last 10 years combined. We're talking hundreds of new presidentials will rank advanced in July of 2017. We're talking about 10s and 20s of new silvers, new golds, new platinum. On the second weekend of August, we're going to do a global recognition event that will be broadcasted from every country that we do it from. It's going to be broadcasted so you can watch all these new presidential cross the stage. It's going to be an amazing, amazing event. And you know what? It's going to forever change. It's going to create a mental mind shift like we have never seen. Why? Because for some reason, over the last 10 years, we've convinced ourselves that going presidential is tough. That only very unique people like Mr. Richard Lepke and others, the Luttrells and others, they can do it. But some people have been convinced now they can't do it. How do I know that? They're not doing it. Right? The results speak for themselves. Some people are convinced now that only if you're Chinese or Korean, you can go presidential. Seriously. Somehow they have some magic fairy dust. Everybody they talk to goes presidential. But how about platinum? We think platinum is like a unicorn. Right? It's like maybe these people get picked. Maybe there's a lottery and we say, oh, Julia is the next platinum. No. But when we have hundreds of people across the stage on that second weekend of August, what's going to happen? People will go, I can't do this. You follow me? It's going to change the mindset. Let me tell you a story, 2 stories. One story is the story of Roger Bannister. How many of you heard of Roger Bannister? Right? He was the first man that ran a sub 4-minute mile. He ran a mile in less than 4 minutes. Now, before him, for 2,000 years, they said it's absolutely impossible for man to run the mile under 4 minutes. Said if you do, your heart will explode, your lung will collapse, you're gonna, your intestine will come to your mouth, whatever. It's impossible. And this young man, he was a student of biophysics and other things, and he decided, he believed, decided, and he had believed and decided he was going to run the mile in less than 4 minutes. How do I know he decided he was going to run the mile in less than 4 minutes?
He did it.
Because he did it. He ran it. So that didn't happen by accident. He didn't just get on the thing, well, I'm going to start with a jog, and then I'll say, oh, you know what, let me see if I can. No. He planned it. He practiced for it. And there's a whole movie about it you should watch if you ever get a chance, right? The 4-minute mile. And boy, he did it. But guess what happened once he did it? 3 weeks later, 2 more people did it. Within months, more people did it. Literally thousands of people have done it. Today, high school students run the mile in less than 4 minutes. Why? Because one man made the impossible happen, and then it became possible for everybody else. In July 2017, the impossible will become possible. Now, let me tell you something. If you're here, if you're listening to me, I know some of you are in South Africa, some in Australia, you're all over the world listening and watching this, because I know, because we can tell. The best thing you could ever do between now and July 1st is get as many new people started as you can. Because remember, those people, like Richard, they're going to come in, they have no history. They don't know the baggage, they don't know the history, they don't have any preconceived notions. All they're going to know, they're going to come in March, in April, in May, in June. All they're going to know is that within a couple of months of being in Manatech, they saw hundreds of people become presidential. So what's going to happen then to their mindset? Huh? I can do this. And guys, we're going to see the biggest explosion of new leaders in Manatech that we have ever seen in the history of Manatech. I'm telling you, literally, Ray Robbins, myself, Kevin Robbins, those that have been really close to the company, I can tell you right now, we really truly believe we could have up to 500 new PDs in 1 month, which is more than we've had in 23 years. Now, there's going to be some people come August 1st that are going to be very excited. They're going to be doing the hallelujah dance around the computer at home, right? Why? Because they did what I just asked you to do. They got a lot more people to witness something that has never happened before. We will shift the mindset. Folks, this is not about skills. It's about mindsets.
Right.
If you believe, whatever you choose to believe is what you will achieve, period. And that's been proven over the years. What you choose to believe is what you achieve. So what are you going to choose to believe? Guys, don't wait until July 1st to start believing. Some of you are going to sit back and go, I don't believe that. And you're right. It's definitely not going to happen for you. You got a choice. You all have a choice. You're going to choose to believe, and you're get in motion, and you're going to do exactly what I told you. And come August 1st, you're going to be a very, very happy person. And you know something? The rest of your Manatech career is going to absolutely be totally radically changed because of what you did between today and July 1st. Mark my words, folks. If you take anything from the next 3 hours, it's going to be, I need to do something between now and July 1st. And what I do between now and July 1st, I see a lot of young people here. Guys, listen to me, watch me. What you do between now and July 1st will set you up for life. It will set you up for life. And once I go through the rest of the company, you're going to understand why I'm saying that. Success must come from building and keeping leaders. We know that, right? Mm-hmm. Leaders don't develop followers. Leaders develop leaders. We have way too many followers in Manatech. We have what I call a herd mentality. We love the protection of the herd. Listen to me. If you're going to make this thing happen, you need to get out of the herd. You know what? If the herd is going in one direction, go in the other direction and go at it alone if you have to. That's why I appreciate Amanda and Paul. You guys decided in this area, you're going to do it. You're going to do it, whatever happens, you're going to do it. If 10 people follow you, great. If 20 people, if you fill this room up, but you're going to do it. Folks, people don't start following you until you start moving in a direction with boldness, right? With boldness and commitment. Okay? Success is not a, it's not a committee. Let me go find out what my people are going to do, and then I'm going to decide what I'm going to do. You decide what you're going to do, and then the right people will follow you. So between now and July 1st, what are you going to do? Are you going to be one of the herd, or are you going to be one of the leaders? You're going to separate yourself from the herd and say, you know what? I'm doing this. I believe I can. I believe I can be presidential. There's a lot of people in this room. You're going to be, for the first time, you're going to be presidential. Choose July 2017 to become a presidential. I can assure you, you can. And it's going to be very much based on what you do between now and July. I tell you, the first goal is how many people you're going to have at Manifest. How many people you're going to have at Manifest? I think my mic just went off. How many people are you bringing to Manifest? Why is that important? Because you know this feeling that I'm trying to create with you? I can tell you the people in Australia already have it. The people in South Africa already have it. The people in Korea already have it. The people in Japan already have it. When we put all that energy into one place, when we get all that in Las Vegas, in the Caesar's Palace, I'm telling you something. People you bring with you, they're going to get it. And then from April 2017 to July 2017, for those 90 days, they're going to go into massive action. Massive action. Folks, if you don't go into massive action between now and July 1st, I don't know how to say it to you, you're going to be eternally sorry for this. Because you would have missed an amazing window of opportunity. I don't say that always. You know, I mean, guys, for me, the biggest thing that this new comp plan does for us is not that we moved some levels and some percentages and no, it's really, we created a new mindset. You follow me? You're with me? Okay? If there was ever a time, see, it could have happened anytime. You could have done this under the old comp plan. I mean, Julia and her team and all those people that are there, all these presidential, the board is getting too small, by the way. We're going to have to get bigger boards or bigger outfits, something to put all the new presidentials in there. They did it on the old plan. You know, they decided and they did it, and that was it, right? So you could have done it in the old plan. But what if this new plan is your catalyst to say, you know what, maybe now is the time? Because I can tell you, the minute you turn it on, Christy, the minute you turn it on, it's a done deal. You just needed a reason to turn it on. Now is your reason to turn it on. Does that make sense? Now is your reason to turn it on. We got a lot of good things going on. I mean, we got True Health. We got, we got all these new products coming. We got some momentum happening. We're growing again. I mean, Manatech is now, recognized not only within us, but the world is starting to pay attention to what's going on here. Trust me, they're watching. The world is watching. This thing is going to hit like a bomb in the whole industry. You're going to get phone calls. You're going to get phone calls from people you talked to 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, 10 years ago, because they're going to hear the news. Trust me, when that press release goes out, Manatech just broke 200, 300, 500 new presidentials, and guess what? What do you think the world's going to do? Huh? They're gonna come looking for you. Because now all of a sudden now, the company with the best products is now the company with the most amazing comp plan. You put those two together. That is like TNT in a match, right? Right? Does that make sense? So leaders must be rewarded by leading by example. So we're gonna have some things in there where you leaders gotta do the things that you're telling people to do. Role of a customer versus a distributor must be clearly defined. We're gonna make sure we know who a customer is, and we're gonna make sure who a distributor is. Guys, in the past, we brought customers in like they were distributors, and we put them in a tree, and we keep flogging them because we want them to go do something, and all they wanted to do is buy our products. They told you that, but you were under this impression, if I just get them in there, You know, if I build a leg underneath them, maybe they'll wake up one day and they're going to grow. And it's happened. But for every one time that has happened, I can tell you over 100 times, it didn't happen. Because all they wanted was to buy your products. Is there anything wrong with that? Folks, if everybody did Manatech, the world wouldn't function. Who'd pick up the garbage? Who'd fly the plane? Who'd be in the doctor's office? Who'd be taking care of your money at the bank? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Not everybody is supposed to be a Manatech associate. The world would not work. Right? So stop thinking like everybody's going to do it now. Those who are, there are many are called, few are chosen. So whoever comes, they're the ones that are supposed to come. But the rest of them, everybody in the world should be taking our products. Everybody in the world should be consuming Manatech products. What happens when they consume Manatech products? They're going to feel better, right? They're going to have more energy. They're going to have more, mental resilience. They're going to be excited, right? They're going to grow old gracefully, and they're going to stay eternally young, whatever, right? So there's lots of benefits to being a customer. So we want customers to be customers. We want distributors to be, and we want distributors to actually prove they want to be distributors. Tell us you really want to. We're going to make it a little bit harder for people to become distributors. Not too hard, but just enough so they go, yeah, I want to be a distributor. I want to be a Manatech associate. Okay, good. You're sure? You sure you don't want to be a customer? No, I want to be okay, then we bring with you. Otherwise, be a customer. You know what? After being a customer for a little while, if you decide you want to come in, there's a door for you to come in, but let's not just immediately we got to sell them a pack, put them in a tree, and hope something happens. Guys, that is just like throwing mud against the wall and hoping something sticks. It works from time to time, but most of the time, it doesn't work. It's not a good method of operation. Is that okay? Yeah. Achievable goals within the first 90 days. Guys, the first 90 days are critical. We want to make sure in a plan that there's ways that we really help new people feel good in the first 90 days. It's our job. The comp plan is going to do that. It's your job. But we're going to give you incentives to really be able to do that. Does that make sense? First 90 days, we want you to really pay attention to these new people, okay? And help them feel good about their Manatech experience. We want them to feel successful. We want them to grow. So that's why you're going to see we made the very beginning stage baby steps. Because right now we have a big, huge step from 0 to 1,500. Richard, think about it, right? Most people have never done network marketing. And our first step is what? 1,500. In the company I come from, the first step is 100. And then 300. And when you get your 100 pin, oh my God, you walk on stage and everything else and you wave and you got a $100 pin. But you know what? That gets you used to what? Recognition. The world dies for more recognition. Let's give it to them. Let's make it feel good. And then, then it used to be 100, 300, 600, 1,000. I mean, there was like 4 steps before you got to 1,500 in the biggest company in the world, in the industry, 4 steps before you get to 1,500. And we think our first step is 1,500. Doesn't make sense. Okay, so, and then the last thing I'm going to say, the dream is real. The dream has to be real. I got good news for you. We already know from our modeling that 24% more people will be earning over $10,000 a month. And that's without changing any behaviors. We're probably going to need a black marker if we want that to show. Okay? But for me, that was important. Because if we want to make the dream real, it means we want more people who are getting paid a significant enough money so that they can be, so that the opportunity can be exciting. Does that make sense? Okay? Let me get the black one here. So when Kevin and I got together and we were on our work trip and we went through the whole model and we said, okay, so In the old model, how many people make over $10,000? We had a number. In this new model, how many people will make over $10,000? 24%. More people will make $10,000. Is that good? Especially if you're one of them. It's even better if you are one of those people. Okay, another thing that we know, so $10,000. I want to make sure that people see this. Today, 16,000 people get a check. 16,000 people on all of Mantech get a check. Now, with 260,000 associates, active associates worldwide, and 16,000 get a check. What's that tell you? We have a lot of customers, but we have them as active distributors, active associates, but they're just customers. They're not interested in making more money. What are they interested in? Our products, which is good. I love it. Okay, but we're going to go from 16,000 people getting checks to 30,000 people getting a check. Now, it doesn't mean every check is going to be a big check, but it doesn't matter. See, in my life in this industry, one of the things we used to celebrate the most was the first check, that first $6 check. I think it's crazy. Who cares about $6? I mean, when I showed it to my mother, she thought I was nuts. You know, my son, the engineer, is excited about his $6 check from his new soap business. Right? Oh, wow. Well, go ahead, quit your job now. This is really good. This is really good. You're going to make it. But you know what? $6, when you get your $6 check psychologically, guess what I was thinking? If I can get $6, I can figure out how to get $60. If I figure out how to do $60, I can figure out how to do $600. If I can do $600, I can probably do $6,000. Does that make sense? So that believer's check, the believer's check, 30,000 people, folks. So there's going to be a lot of people in your business who will be getting a check, and you need to get back to them to do what? To show them how to make that check bigger. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So at the very lowest level, we're going to make sure that people can start getting some money. So at the top, we got money going to the top. We got a lot more people at the bottom as well. And then we got to fill in the middle. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. We got to fill in the middle. Okay, now, so the dream is real. Big commission checks are essential. I want a lot of people making a lot of money. If not, why are we doing this? Okay. Number two, big commission checks are driven by sales volume, right? Recurring sales of products. Where does the money come from? Sale of products. Did you get that? Sales of products. Okay. Not just go recruit a bunch of people. You don't get paid for recruiting anymore. Hello? You don't get paid for recruiting. You get paid for what? Sales. To whom? Customers. Right? So big check comes from sales volume. It comes from rank advancement. As your volume grows, your rank advances. And as your rank advances, what did I tell you? It's mathematically impossible for you to rank advance and not make more money. Good? Good. All right. Leadership development. Developing leaders under you. Helping people, pulling people up. This is a business of pulling people up, right? So they can, if they do better, you do better. It's a golden rule. If you help enough people make their dreams come true, then your dream will come true. If you help enough people make their dreams come true, then your dream will happen automatically. You don't even have to think about it. See, every time you feel depressed, every time you feel discouraged, let me give you an advice. Start thinking about helping somebody else. And as soon as you start helping somebody else, all of a sudden, you're going to feel good again. Yes. It's just a normal human behavior. Why do I love this industry? Because this industry is about, if I help enough people make their dreams come true, my dream happens automatically. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, there's people who think all about their dream first. Guess what? Those people don't succeed very well. Or they succeed for a little while. But they don't stay in the business like Richard for 21 years. Right, Richard? People who stay in this industry If they only think about themselves, they're not going to make it. You got to be concerned about other people, right, Julian? Right? When you get, if you ever get depressed, now be hard, because with the kind of checks you're going to get, it'll be hard to be depressed. But if you do get depressed, just think about all your people, right? And what's going to happen to them, right? And then you're going to be happy again. I mean, that's why it's called the happy team. Because look at those pictures, look at all those pictures, look at all those people in the back there, all those presidentials there on the board. That's the game right there. Developing leaders. And big commission checks come from lots of small commission checks. If a lot of people should be benefiting, a lot of people should be making some money, and that means that you're doing a good job as a leader, right? That means you get rewarded for really helping as many people as you can, lifting as many people. The rising tide lifts all ship. Rising tide lifts all ship. Okay, let me show you some numbers. This is part of our modeling, by the way. Okay, this is coming from our modeling. The source income is what is the old plan. The new is the new plan. What's green is because those people at that level did better in the new than the old. What's red is people did worse in the new than the old. Said, Al, what are you doing? I bet you might, folks at the office go, you're showing people they're going to do worse? How's that exciting? Well, I'm excited about this because this does not reflect any of, we didn't model any of the retail activity. This is purely just on just the organizational pay. And when I'm done showing you what you're going to do from a retail point of view, you can add pretty much $500 a month on top of every one of these numbers. So as an RD, I'm going to show you as an RD how that income should be very close to $500. Richard, RDs making $500. I mean, in your whole time with Matec, is that going to be a good deal? Right? $500 for an RD. I'm going to show you exactly how you do that. So this is not a mystery, not a game, not a shell game. And it's all about what? See, between 0 and ending, it should really be about customer development and some leadership development. Now, from the bottom, from L1, which is senior ND down, this is leadership development. This is organizational development. Now, you can see that everybody here is green. And some of them are really, really green. Holy moly. Holy moly, right? That's what we want. Because you know what? We got to motivate the motivators. We got to motivate the motivators. Does that make sense? Now, these are averages, so it's so there's ranges. There's low, high, and middle. This is the middle. But it's the only way we can display information unless I start talking to you individually about how you're going to do this plan, which we'll be able to do in a couple of weeks, by the way. We'll be able to talk to you, the leaders, and your organization when we do that, okay? New concepts. Now, we're going to talk about 4 new concepts, 4 new words that you need to keep in mind, okay? First new word is commissionable volume. Say with me, commissionable volume. We call that CV. Can you say that? CV, commissionable volume. No longer APO, okay? Now, let's kind of look at something here. I'm going to use the board a little bit more than I should because of the transmission, but I need to use the board to understand, okay? All right. So we got 3 types of people in Manatech. Okay? We're going to have what we call a retail customer. Retail customer. Then we have what we call a preferred customer. And then we have an associate. And I am not going to abbreviate that. Okay, so if a retail customer buys at retail price, so let's say a retail customer, if they buy at a retail price, it's $100, right? That's retail, full retail, street price. Preferred customers are going to buy the same thing at $95. So that means preferred customers now, we used to call them members, remember? And now what? Preferred customers. Now, so they get a 5% discount to retail. Associates, you will buy it at $90. So that means you are at a 10% discount from retail, okay? Now, what is APO? APO, which was the actual payout volume, that's where most of our compensation plan was based on. APO was 30%, between 27 and 30% of associate price. So how much is that? So 30% of 90 is about $27. So this would be the volume that we pay commission on today. That's APO. Now CV is 80% of retail. So how much is that? 80. So let me ask you this. This is an IQ test. If you're going to be getting a percentage of something, would you rather get a percentage of 27 or a percentage of 80?
80.
Now, guys, you say, but wow, what does that mean? Well, in the past, the reason APO was low is because we had a lot of what we call fixed bonuses. What are the fixed bonuses? Team bonus is a fixed bonus. Lifestyle is a fixed bonus. Lifestyle used to pay people for minimum effort. You follow me? Not maximum effort, minimum effort. These things took a lot of money out of the comp plan and incentivized people to do the least. Right? Because if you're a national at 6,000 and you got $350, and then you went to 9,000, you still got $350. You went to 12,000, you still have $350. You went to 15,000, you still have $350. Does that $350 feel the same at 6,000 as it feels at 15,000? It doesn't. I double my volume, I triple my volume, and I still get the same amount. Why should I? I can do 6,000 and get the same. So it really motivated, it really incentivized minimum effort. Does that make sense? Now, why did we put it in there? Because we're trying to protect. Was it a good idea at the time? Absolutely. But we're not in protection mode anymore. We are in growth, right? So when people want to grow, they go, look, if I do 12,000, you should give me more, right? Well, now we can't. Why? Because too much money is going out to too many people for doing minimum effort. So I cannot give money to people who want maximum effort. Does that make sense? That's why APO was low. But when these things don't exist anymore, and they won't, then that means now we can really work out of the $80 instead of the $27. Does that make sense? Now, without getting too technical, from an optics point of view, when you're talking to people, especially those who understand a little bit about compensation plan, they always want to know, if my people sell $100, what do I get? Well, you get a percentage of $27. What? And then you got to go explain team bonus and lifestyle bonus and presidential development bonus and leadership development bonus, all these fixed bonuses. You lost them. You lost them. Now, if they say, well, if my people sell $100, what do I get? If they sell $100, you're going to get a percentage of $80. Ah, okay, that feels better, right? Right? So that's the difference between APO and CV. Then we have what we call PPV. Now, let's talk about PPV. PPV is your personal PV, your personal point volume, okay? Now, I don't know if I should get it closer so that the screen gets. So this is you, right? And Above the line is customers. Below the line is associates. Right? So you're going to have customers here who are directly connected to you. These are, we call them preferred customers, right? Preferred customers. Your PPV, your personal value, is what you buy plus what your customers buy. So if every customer did 100, 100, 100, 100, 100, what's your total PPV? Huh? 600. And your PPV, your personal volume, which is your volume, your personal purchases, and your customers, now is part of your GPV, and it's part of your, what we're going to call DPV, which is, if this is PPV, all of this is now going to be your DPV. So your downline and their volume, their customer volume, is all part of your debt point value, your DPV. What you this volume is part of your total value. And when we're trying to, when we talk about ranks, when we talk about regional, national, executive, we're talking about the total value, including your own value.
Awesome.
Guys, this is the silliest thing we've done in math. You're going to buy your own value here, but oh my goodness, if you want to buy more, you should go ahead and start another business, a member business, right? Buy the rest of your volume in a member business. Get 20% for that business, excellent. We'll have your APO cut in half. So that 27 now becomes 15 or whatever. So you just gave everybody upline a pay cut and headache. Now look, there was probably good reasons. I just haven't figured out why we did this ever. I'm sure there was a good reason. I mean, I'm not a compliant genius, so I can't say I understand everything. All I know is that if I was just a customer, if I'm just a new associate, that's confusing to me.
Yes.
It's very confusing to me. You mean I gotta buy something here, so I'm gonna pay shipping here for my personal value, then I'm gonna pay shipping again under my member position because I want to buy more products. When did anybody think that was really smart? And I take responsibility. I mean, obviously I'm the CEO. But it doesn't make sense. From now on, everything you're ever gonna buy, you're gonna buy it where? You. One order. What you need, everything you need. Because you know what? That 20% doesn't exist anymore. There's not going to be any incentive for you to do silly things. Okay? So, oh my God, so what am I'm telling you, just that's it, it's done. We're not going to pay you to do silly things. So what are we going to do? We're going to pay you, you're going to get 5% automatically on any value that you create between you and your and then based on your value, you're going to get an extra 5 to 15%. So you'll still get to 20%, but you're going to get to 20% for creating more value. And that way, guess what? Good news. Your commission volume will not change whether it's a customer value or a associate value. So Richard, no more, you get half of the APO, you get half of the pay on stuff that people buy in your organization for no reason at all. Okay? So your CV, I lost it again. Your CV is going to be the same whether a customer buys it or an associate buys it or you buy it, it's the same. And we're going to pay 80%, right, of retail price. That's what you're going to get paid on. And you know what? Simplify, simplify, simplify. Okay, so do we have that? Do we have those terms? Do we understand those terms? Okay. So now we're going to talk about leadership path. Now, from just a top view of this, I would say we've done two very significant things. Okay? It used to be 18 ways to get paid, and we're going to convert that into 7 ways to get paid. I'm sure you can remember 7 better than you can remember 18. I'm sure you can explain 7 easier than you can explain 18. How many of you could tell me the 18 ways people get paid in MadTech today if I give you even $1,000? Would you know? There's not a person in this room that knows the 18 ways people get paid. Now, it's not something. We've been in business 23 years, and none of you know how you get paid.
Genius knows.
No, even the genius don't know. Even the genius don't know. I was in this thing for 18 months, going through it every day, and I found out just a few weeks ago there was some way you get paid I didn't even know existed. So if we're paying in a way nobody knows, are we incentivizing any kind of behavior with that? No. It's wasted resources because we don't know, we're not incentivizing nothing. Okay? Now, but then we have, okay, in terms of leadership path, we had regional, national, executive, presidential, right? 4 levels. Those 4 levels is going to turn into 8 levels. The first 4 levels, now between 0 to PD, is going to be 8 levels. Now, if there's going to be something complicated, this is what it's going to be. You're going to learn some new terms. You're going to learn about some new pins, right? And then after presidential, we used to have presidential, silver, gold, platinum. Yes, bronze, silver, gold, platinum. So we had 4 levels of top leadership. Those 4 levels of top leadership are going to become now 12 levels of top leadership. So we're going to go from basically 8 levels total to 20 levels. So from 18 ways to 7, from 8 levels to 20. Okay? Make sense? So let's go through it. So the first 3 levels, the first level starts at 300 DPV, 750, 1500. Then we're going to go 2500, 4000, 6000. 4,000 today exists as what we call the senior regional. It's just a recognition. Now it's a pay category. And then national. So 6 levels here. Used to be 2, is now 6. So why is this good for you? First of all, when people start, they start getting recognized a lot sooner. Is that good?
Yes.
We want those 300 PV men to just go on stage and get recognized, and let's love on them. Then 750, let's do it again. 1500, woohoo! Yeah, give them flowers. Okay. Then 2500, 4000, 6000. Now, outside of the recognition, this is the other thing that's really, really big. See, before, if somebody was at 200, and it's the end of the month, and you want to encourage them to do more, can you tell them to go from 200 to 1500? Could you tell them to go from 200 to 300?
Yes.
That's an extra 100 points in your organization. If there's 10 people like that, that's an extra 1,000 points in your organization. Now, if somebody was at 500, can you tell them to go to 1,500? But can you tell them to go to 750?
Yes.
Especially if they help 2 other people go another 100 each. Now he's at 700, so he's 50 away from 750. Guys, end of the month now is going to be a very exciting process. Because now, in the last couple of days of the month, you could create up to 40% more volume in just 2 days. By doing what? By helping everybody from the bottom to do a little bit more, 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 and that's going to create massive end of the month value. So we're going to create a new culture at MadTech. It's called closing the month. I can tell you that Gloria and myself and the whole sales team, we're going to be in the office on the last day of the month until midnight. In our pajamas, if we have to. We're going to be in a war room. Customer service will be there, and we'll be on the phone. We'll be helping you. We'll be calling people that are close and say, look, you're this close. Because if you move, every time you jump one level, you make more money. Every time you jump one level, you make more money. Every time you jump one level, you make more money. See, it's not about just, I want you to do a little bit more so I can do better. No, we want you to do a little bit more so you do better. You follow me? So end of the month is going to be exciting. You're going to learn. We're going to teach people how to close the month. It's a normal behavior in the industry, but one that we couldn't do in Manatech. Why? Because from 1,500 to 6,000, what are you going to tell people? If you're at 1,500, I can say, look, let's try to get you to 2,500, right? That's feasible. You got to stretch a little bit. But if you come back here and you say to this person, look, you're 900, try to get to 1,500, that's 600 points. Well, 600 points on top of 1,700, now it's not 2,300. You only need 2 more hundred to get to 2,500. You understand the psychology of this? You understand the mechanics of this? This is, in our industry, that's what we do. That's how you do it. 40% of your volume can literally come from the last 2 days of the month by everybody doing just a little bit more. Stretch just a little bit more. Not this big stretch. It would be unethical to ask people to make big stretch. What are you going to do with those products? Sell it on eBay, sell it on Amazon. That's what they do. Hello? We don't want that. We just want people to make small stretches. But if everybody does small stretches, then when he gets to you, you only have to make a small stretch yourself. Then we're going to go from 6,000 to 10,000. 10,000, so by the way, national director is a key level. You all want to have an ND factory because there's a pay called check match, where you get to check match everybody in your organization who's a national and above. So the more people you help get to national, the more check match you have, okay? But then this one here, senior director, 10,000 DPV, 10,000 is gonna become critical. Why? Because at 10,000, then you get to check match. Who? Everybody in your organization who's national above. So if you don't get to 10,000, then Ron, you love your upline. I mean, you don't mind if your upline makes all the money. That's okay. She loves you too. But if you love yourself, guess what you're going to do? You're going to make sure you get to 10,000. That make sense? Then executive is still the same, 20,000. Nothing's changed. And then this is a big change. Presidential director is now 40,000 and not 60,000. Hallelujah. Come on, applause. This is huge. Right? Can you see it now? 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 Can you? Can you see it? Yeah, can you feel it? Right, new PD, July 2017. Can you feel it?
Yes. Yes.
And then everything is going to be a multiple of a 40,000 PD. By the way, you can do everything with 2 legs. 2 legs. No more 3 legs, 2 legs. But better to have 4. But 2 legs, you can qualify with 2 legs all the way to silver presidential. All the way to silver presidential, you can do it with 2 legs. But if you have 4, it's better. I'll show you why. But 2 is okay, right? So that's president. Guys, this is, now you understand why I say we will break more presidentials. Now, your new people, do you think they know 60,000, 40,000? They just know one thing. It's presidential. And I tell you what, when you become presidential, we're gonna make just the same fuss about you as we did when it was 60,000. Only thing is, you're not gonna go to Hawaii at 40,000. That's okay. We'll get you a nice trip locally. We're gonna do things with you to get you ready for PPD. We're gonna, at 40, when you get to presidential, we're gonna have PPD school. Right, Laurie?
Right.
We're gonna have PPD school, right? And you're gonna be invited to come, and we're gonna love on you. We're gonna recognize you. We're gonna put you in a magazine. We can do all kinds of wonderful things because it's a very, very important level. Okay? And by the way, at PPD, you're gonna make as much money at PPD 40,000. You're gonna make as much money as many of you have made at 60,000. PD. At PD, yeah, PD 40,000. You're gonna make as much money or more money than PD at 60,000. So how is that possible? Because of what I just explained. Because of the, you know, the member, the half APO, all that stuff. Folks, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. All right. Now, so that's presidential. So from 0 to presidential, how many levels? 9 levels. Maybe I was wrong. I said 4, it's 9. So we go from 4 to 9. But seriously, any questions here? Are you getting the importance of this number of levels?
Yeah. I just have a question. The A1, A2, A3, what are those actually?
Okay, those names are just for our programming.
Oh, okay.
It's really associate 1, 2, 3, manager 1, 2, team manager, leader 1, leader 2, leader 3, all the way to leader 12. Okay.
You go back to see the people how much they earn. Right now, the people, so people understand.
Yeah.
See, like right now, PD, that 40,000 is at, yeah, that 4,000 is at 40,000 PD. This is without any change of behavior. This is just the old plan, I mean, the old organization with the new plan. But some of you are going to get really smart and you're going to figure out how to take that 4,000 actually to 6,000. Does that make sense? You think about it right now. Many PDs are not making $4,000 right now. Some make more, but many are not making $4,000. At 60,000, they're not making $4,000. So at 40,000, if you're making more than $4,000, that's a pretty good plan. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, so, all right. So what happens after presidential? Well, after presidential, we're going to have bronze presidential, silver presidential, gold presidential, platinum presidential. Now, what's different here than before? Value. Value. You must have value. Now, you're going to need organization as well, structure, but you need value. Because volume cannot be gained. You can mess around with organizations and create organization, fake organization, whatever, but you can't fake value. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
You cannot fake value. So 80,000 for bronze, 160 for silver, 240 for gold, and 320 for platinum. Now, to be honest, when we first did this, it was 80, 160, 320, 640. For the first year, between now and July 2018, we are halving this number and almost halving this number so that more of you can get to platinum in the first year than ever. It may stay there forever. It might go back to whatever we had originally planned. Because even at 320,000 and 640,000, that 640,000 was still 25% below the average platinum value. 25, sometimes even 50% below what the platinum really has to create in value when they put 4 PD legs together.
At one time, in the old plan, you could have platinum at 240,000, actually 60.
Yeah, but you know how many people did that? Never. You know why? Because you always had a big, huge leg.
Yeah.
You had maybe a good second leg,
That's true.
and then you killed yourself to get to leg 3 and leg 4. That's why we don't have so many platinums.
Right.
See, yes, if you manufactured a platinum if you gamed it, if you build it perfectly, it could be 60, 60, 60, 60, 240. But every platinum we have, it has an excess of 600 to $1.5 million, because by the time they get the first leg done and the second leg, that first leg is already now at 200,000, 300,000. You know, so that's why I'm saying when we did the average at 640, it was 25% less than the average platinum. Right? I mean, Julia's a platinum. What's your volume at platinum?
First leg is always huge.
Right? What's your volume at platinum?
I'm not platinum right now.
No, I'm saying Julia. Julia's a platinum.
Right now.
Yeah, 1.2 million. I know, 1.2 million to 1.5 million. That's what it takes to be a platinum. We have people who are silvers, and they had $1.2 million in value. No, Dr. Hines is silver at 5 million. You know, so in theory, it's 60, that's 120. I don't know a silver that has 120,000 value, but it has 6,000 aside anyway. 126, I don't know too many silvers. Now, maybe a brand new silver. So here, these numbers are way understated. And the reason it's way understated is because in the first year of this new comp plan, we really want to create as many silver, gold, and platinum as we can. The other thing also you're going to find out is in a structure, it's no longer going to be a requirement to have 4 PPD, 3 PPD, 2 PPD, 1 PPD. You can do all of this with ED legs. The requirement, and I'll get into the requirement in a minute, is ED legs, executive legs, instead of PD legs. Because we know that some of the other legs are going to be big enough, so that third and fourth leg that you can't break because you can't get a presidential because somebody is holding you hostage. Because somebody in that third leg just doesn't care to go presidential. So guess what you got to do? You got to now go to work, make him a presidential, even though he's too lazy to do it himself, right? You're going to go do it for him so he can get paid more and so he can take away your pay. You make sense? Now we're going to take that away so nobody can hold you hostage. You are the master of your ship. You are the master of your destiny. You can do it. You can do it with 8 ED legs. You can do it with 4 ED legs. You can do it whichever way, but you can control that. Nobody controls you. And that's something we wanted to give people, leaders, the flexibility so that some knucklehead who doesn't want to move now prevents you from moving because he just doesn't want to move unless you go do it all for him or for her, which is not fair. Does that make sense? So if they don't want to do it, great, stay at ED. I'm going to go and build me some other ED legs, and then, I'm going to get there anyways with you or without you.
So there's no side volume thing.
Well, then you got 2 legs. You got a 70, you got a 60-40 until presidential. Until 10,000, and then you got 70-30 for the rest of the time. So in terms of volume, it's at this larger volume, 70-30. So that means if you have a big leg, all you're looking for is 30% of the size. Is that better? Yeah. Right, that's better, right? That's much better than what we have right now, guys. Much, much better. Okay, so then we go into, so remember now, we used to stop at platinum. We thought platinum, you have achieved, you have arrived, you're at the top of the mountain, and the only thing that can happen is you can go down because you got nothing else to shoot for. Now that's going to be different. After you get to platinum, we're going to have platinum 1 star. Now we're going to have names for these things, super galactic, intergalactic commander, whatever. But we're going to have names for this thing. By the way, help us if you can think of names. Some of you are very creative. We'll take some names, okay? But we're calling it platinum 1 star, platinum 2 star, platinum 3 star, platinum, crown platinum, and then we have the grand poobah, which is crown ambassador platinum. So that means now when people get to platinum, welcome to kindergarten. Now you're ready to really do it right. Now you got this stuff to do. Now you got the real stuff to do. You see the psychology of this? Because guys, when people stop striving for the next level, guess what they do? They go backwards. If you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. You never stand still. You're not a helicopter. You're not going to hover forever. You're either got energy to move forward or you're going backwards. It's the natural law of entropy. Anything that doesn't get energy falls back, degrades. So how do we keep the energy? We put more things ahead of you so that you got something to shoot for. Hello? If you want to retire, that's fine. I mean, but we understand that's gonna have an implication because it's hard to keep your organization just hovering. Now the NUCOM plan actually is going to give them under you a lot of energy to move. So you might, again, the rising tide lifts all ships, but you don't want to be a ship that's just bouncing with the waves. You want to be a ship who's got a direction. We're giving you a direction. Okay. All right. That makes sense?
Yes.
All right, now let me talk about something else that's going to be actually pretty interesting because we're going to give you so much flexibility in how you reach new levels, right? So the first thing we want is we want what? We want volume, right? Volume is key. Watch, look at this. This is the volume: 80, 160, 240, 320, 640, 1.25 million, 2.5 million, 5 million, 10 million a month. Okay? Then we have what we call structure. Now in the structure, this is called 2L2. And L2 is a ED. 2 L2s, 3 L2s, 4 L2s. So technically, you can have you need 4 legs at platinum, but not all 4 legs need to be presidential. You can have a couple of legs that are EDs. Now, but you still need to get 320,000 volume. 70, 30. Right? Now, what's these points? Now, here we say, okay, bronze, 1 point. How do you get points? Well, an ED leg. Now, what's a leg? Let me explain a leg. So if this is you, and you have there's 100 people deep in this leg. And this person here is an ED, that's the highest level. This is considered a ED leg. If this person is a PD, this is considered a PD leg. So if this is a PD leg, how many points do you get for that leg?
1 point.
1 point. So what's a bronze? What bronze is 1 point. How could you get 1 point?
2 ED can get
2 ED equals 1 point. You are so smart. Pharmacist. Okay, you understand numbers. Very good. Right? That's so to go bronze, you need what? You can do 2 ED legs, but still you gotta have 80 volume. Or you can have 1 PD leg, that's 1 point, but you need to have 70%, 30% on the side, at least 30% on the side. Oh, yeah, on the second leg. Now, to be a silver, what do you need? You need 2 points, right? How could you get 2 points? You could have 40 legs, 2 PD legs, right? But you have to have at least 2 ED legs. You have to have at least 2 ED legs.
What if you have 2 presidentials on that one night?
No. Every leg is, we take the highest level in that leg, that's the points you get for that leg. So if you have PD, 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 that's still PD. Still 1 point. Now the next leg, you get, PD, 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 PD. How many points is that? 1 point. So we take the highest level in that leg, and that's the points that you get. Does that make sense? So to be a silver presidential, technically you could have 1 big PD leg and 1 ED leg. And as long as you got 30% of this 160 on the side, you're good. You're a new silver. Guys, we have taken away the ability of other people affecting what you want to do. You can do it with 8, you can do as many ED legs as you want. And by the way, you'll be very, very, very profitable. The wider you are, the more profitable you will be. Trust me. Okay? Or you can do it narrow, right? But just keep thinking this. You need to set 30% of this volume on the side. And you only need, it's only a 2-leg requirement, not a 3-leg requirement. Guys, do you think that's going to unblock a lot of people? Right to start? Some of you, you got 1 good leg, maybe 2 good legs, but boy, that 3rd leg is really a challenge. Because you put all your energy in the first 2 legs. So even for those people who put all their energy in 2 legs, you're not going to be penalized for that. It's actually going to be helpful as long as you make sure you get enough side volume, right, to cover the 30% that you need on the side of each one of these volumes here. Now, when you get here, then from platinum 1-star beyond, now we're going to start looking at L3. L3 is PD legs. So now you have to have a real PD leg. You need to have at least 4 PD legs and beyond. And you never have to do more than 4 PD legs until you get to Crown Ambassador, and that's not, you have to have at least 5 PD legs. You follow me? Now, you need the number of legs, the number of points, and you need what?
Volume.
You need the volume. You need the volume. So you got all these 3 things that are working at the same time. Now, I know at first it sounds complicated. It's not that complicated because think about it. If you think in terms of today, what's silver? 2 PD legs, 2 points, right? What's gold? 3 PD legs, 3 points. What's platinum? 4 PD legs, 4 points. So we haven't changed nothing. We're just giving you the ability to create your points differently. Those who like to build wide, you're going to be rewarded. Those who want to build narrow, you can be rewarded as well. So we want to be very agnostic to how you build. We just want to give you as many ways to build it as you can. Is that good?
Yes.
You think that's going to create more platinums?
Yes. So the depth is you get rewarded by volume, right?
Yeah, the depth you get rewarded by volume. When I get to the volume, then you'll see how we do that. But okay, the structure. So let's talk about, now I'm going to start now working through the 7 ways to get paid. Now we're supposed to be out of here by noon. So it's 5 of 11. We're right on track. So I promise you we'll be out of here noon or before noon. Okay. All right, customer pay. So bonus number 1 is customer pay. I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this one because this is a bit different than what you're used to. And but again, one of the key things we wanted to do here is we wanted to incentivize people for having customers. Repeat with me again. Customers are good. We love customers. Okay. All right, so if this is you, right? I gotta show up a little bit. So above the line, right? PPV, customers, your own volume, personal volume, customer volume. Now, from 0 to 250, we're calling it PPV, think dollars PPV, in this case, it's about the same. You get a 5% discount. You get a 5%, not discount, you get a 5% commission. 5% commission. From 0 to 250, you get a 5% commission. From 250 to 500, you get 10%. From 500, no, sorry, you get at 250, from 0 to 250, you get 5%. From 250 plus, you get 10%. $4.99. From $4.99.
No, from 500.
Yeah, from 500 to 1,000, you get, so where's my math going wrong? Oh, okay, now, all right. 10, 15, 20. You're always going to get 5% regardless. Okay? You're always going to get 5% regardless. But once you reach 250, you get an additional 5, so that's 10%. When you get 500, you get another 10%, that's 15%. When you get to 1,000, you get another, from 1,000 up, I'm sorry, okay. That's what I got. From 1,000 up is 20%.
So from 0 to
From 0 to 250 is 5%.
49.
To 49, yeah, to be exact. 999, okay? We're still giving the 20%, but we're giving the 20% over larger volume. Because before, as soon as you did any kind of member volume, customer volume, we gave you 20%. And we took it from who? We took it from the business leaders. Was that fun? It was fun for the person who was getting the 20%, which usually I call that the passing parade, because those people could be here, could be not. But we took the money away from the leadership to pay for that. And we realized, look, that's not a good way to run the business. One, the member program was very much abused, right? People used it in a way that was not the way it's supposed to be. It is supposed to be for customers. It was really to help people, chiropractors, salon owners, other people to be able to have a retail profit. But we gave it to everybody, so we created a real problem. And we depressed all the leaders' pay by doing that. So here, yes, you can get up to 20%. Okay, and there's going to be we're going to have other incentives for retail, which I'm going to go through in a minute. But this way, at least we can preserve the commissionable volume so that any volume, regardless if it comes from customer or it comes from associate, it has the same commissionable volume. You never get penalized because people are retailing. In our old plan, we penalized the leaders for retailing. So how many people were excited about retailing? Did you go promote retailing? I mean, at one point we thought, oh, this member program is going to blow up. I mean, we're going to have a great, did it? No, it blew up for sure, but it didn't blow up the right way. So we don't want to do that again. And we want to make it simple as well. So people know that. Okay, does that make sense? This is a little bit different than what we have. But I believe it's going to be a better plan.
This percentage is based on CV, right?
You know what? It's a good question. We're calling it, PV. We're calling it based on PV. It really is on dollars. So I'm going to just confirm that. Because really, your customers, whatever they spend, right, it's going to be dollars. They're not spending CV. I got to double check that. I'll double check that before the end of the day. But think about it. Even if it was, it's 80% of retail price. Okay, which by the way, these people here are buying at 95% of retail price anyway. So you're buying at 90% of retail price. So I'll confirm that. But you get the idea. The more volume you create, the better the percentages are. Now, can you buy it all in here? Can you buy 1,000 right here? And then go sell it to your customers in your salon or chiropractor in his office? Of course. We have no problem with that. You get 20% because you created the volume.
Does that customer have to be $100?
No.
76 or?
No, this customer can be anything. At this point, the customer can be anything. Now, I'm going to show you in a minute where if it's 100, how much better it is for you. We have created another way that you get paid for having customers doing at least 100 a month on automatic order. All right, we got the retail. So let's go to the second one. Second one is pretty exciting. Now, not only we want you to have customers, but now we want you to have customers on automatic order. So let's say these customers are automatic order customers. So let's say you have 5 customers that are each doing a minimum of 100 on automatic order. So you're getting what? 500 volume from 5 customers doing at least 100 on automatic order. By the way, our average today is how much? 157. And our True Health customers average, because of True Health, our average actually went to 178. So we know most of our customers do 100 or more. But now to your question, if you have 5 customers in any month who did 100 each to a total of 500 or more, we will pay you an extra $75. And if they do it every month, we pay you $75 every month. This is kind of like the team bonus, but it's based on customers, not on associates.
You have to have 5, or
You have to have 5, and there has to be a minimum of 100.
sponsored?
Well, all customers are going to be personally sponsored. There's no such a thing of anything else. All your customers are going to be to you. Now, I know some of you may have got customers that you put somewhere else. Now they belong to somebody else. Your 5 customers is the people that are you, they're connected to you directly. And by the way, in the future, yeah, go ahead.
So yourself as associate do not need the 100, right?
Yourself as an associate, you could have 0. We're never going to ask you to do anything. I mean, you don't have to have an order to get paid anymore. Why? Because very soon that will be actually illegal. We can't have people pay to play. Now, we hope you buy products for yourself. You should be a product of the product, but we're not going to force you to buy so that you can get paid. Does that make sense? What we're going to look at, though, is we're going to look at your volume. So in this case, if you did 0, we had 500 customers. So how much is your volume now?
500.
500.
That's qualified. Yeah.
Right? That's your 500. Now, on this plan here, when you have 500, what do you get paid? 15%. So you're going to get $75 from income number 1.
Right.
You're going to get $75 from income number 2 because they are on automatic order, right? Now, so that's how much?
150.
150. Now, when I did that comparison, when we did the thing, those modeling, we did not include that in there. So if somebody said, well, I found, how can I make more money? Well, have some customers.
So
How do any business work? If you have a car rental agency, what do you have? What do you need? Customers. If you have a pet shop, what do you need? If you have a hairdresser, what do you need? Guys, come on. I mean, if we're a business, what do we got? We got customers. Huh?
you sell 500, yeah, 150.
Yeah, so you sell, you get 75, automatically, but you get another 75 if they are on automatic order. Why? Because we want your customers to be on automatic order for life.
Yeah. Loyalty.
For life. Why? Residual customer equal residual income. There's no residual income if you don't have residual customers. Do people eat every day for the rest of their life? So people should take supplements for the rest of their life. Yes, ma'am.
So where does the money go, all your associates that are devoted that you haven't signed up? That's just for.
This is just for customers. Right? I'm going to get into the other, what comes from your, now. But this is what else we want you to do. This is pretty cool. Because if you now, you enroll A and B, and you teach A and B to have 5 customers, hello?
Yes.
Just like you. So now they make how much? $150. Would they be excited? Yes. Right? We pay you another $300. So now you made how much? $450 just from doing what?
Our customers.
5 customers, 2 associates, 5 customers. Now, these people here are people you enrolled anywhere in your organization. If you are the enroller and that person has this, if you have 2 of them in 2 separate legs, you get this. Now, this is what? RD, right? 500, 500, 500. Now, you just show somebody how to become a regional director. So now when people get into business, what's the goal? Right? 5 customers, 2 associates. 5 customers, 2 associates. 5 customers, 2 associates. And then have those 2 associates get 5 customers and 2 associates. Guys, I mean, this is an RD now making over $500 a month. Holy mackerel! Applaud! So these people over here, it's exciting. Does that make sense? Guys, we couldn't make it better. We could not make this any better. Now you add this 450 to the 100 something that we showed you. Now how much is an RD making right now? Over $600. Over $600. For doing what? For having 5 customers and teaching 2 people to have 5 customers. So we have made how to get into this flow simple, right? And profitable. Very profitable. Guys, $500 is what they call in the industry the golden handcuff. Because I can tell you something. When you can help somebody within the first couple of months of their business to make $500 a month, they're going to stay with you a very, very, very long time. Does that make sense? Yes.
We still get more points.
Oh yeah. Okay, by the way, these customers, if they are on automatic order, they're going to get 10% loyalty points instead of 20. 10% loyalty points instead of 20. You get 20% loyalty points on yours. So an associate still get 20% loyalty points. Customers will get 10% loyalty points. They get 5% discount, 10% loyalty points. You get 10% discount, 20% loyalty points. Simple?
Yeah.
Simple, very simple. Guys, this now is a cornerstone. If you can build this out, then you realize, my goodness, now we can really go to town, right? So we get that. So here, I think you can count the $75 that they make from their retail. Well, I'm going to fix that. But just so you get an idea, on bonus number 2 alone, right? Somebody brand new could be making $300 to $400, $500. Guys, why do you think this is important? Because you know what? We're competing not with other MLMs only now. We're competing with Uber.
That's right.
If somebody with a cell phone in a car can be an Uber driver and make $400, $500, $600, $1,000 a week. Now, is that residual? No. Is that global? No. Is that duplicatable? No. But they can make $500 just like that. So if we can show people how to make $500 just like that, we can compete. So that's why we put this in here. And we did it based on a behavior that is essential in the industry now, which is get customers. Get customers. If anybody ever came to you and complained, I'm not making enough money, the first question you should ask them is, how many customers do you have? And if they don't have 5 customers, say, go get 5 customers, and then come talk to them. Because anybody who has customers is never going to have an issue with how much money they make in this business. Oh, I don't like to sell. Well, you are in a selling business. Then go drive an Uber if you don't like to sell. And by the way, if you're going to be a good Uber driver, you better learn how to sell.
Yeah.
Because everybody is selling. Everybody is selling. So this baloney, well, I don't want to sell, don't be business for yourself. Be an employee for the rest of your life. Hello? Welcome to the new 40-year plan. Okay? We are in business, and business have customers. And we got to make that clear. People, I don't like to sell. No, you don't sell, you recommend. Whatever, you share, you recommend. But you need other people taking the stuff. Right? If other people are taking the stuff, you're not going anywhere. Okay. Am I being plain enough?
No, it's
Okay,
good.
you got it. Okay. All right, you ready for number 3?
Wow.
Number three is what we call a first order bonus. If you know what a direct bonus is, now a first order bonus is like a direct bonus, but it works in a little bit of different way. We are not going to pay anyone for recruiting. You hear me? We don't pay for recruiting. Why? Because the FTC doesn't like that. They don't like headhunting. They don't like people to make money just because I recruited somebody. So this is what's going to happen. All right. So if this is, all right. So Jim recruits A. What A needs to do to become an associate of Mantech is A is going to buy a registration kit for $49.99. Registration kit is going to have literature, videos, things, paperwork. It's a little box. That box makes them an associate. So it's an associate welcome kit. With this, A will have a number from Mantech, and he's now his associate. Nobody makes money from that $49.99. It's like if you go to Costco or you go to BJ's or you go somewhere and you get a membership. Okay? As an associate, you access the product at 10% discount and you get 20% loyalty when you buy things on automatic order. However, after you have registered, you're going to make your first order. Your first order, we're going to create some what we call bundles. So we're going to have bundle A, B, C, D, whatever, okay? And these bundles will have different pricing. Could be $100, could be $250, could be $500. We could even have a $1,000 bundle. You know, who's going to buy a $1,000 bundle? A chiropractor, a salon owner, or somebody who wants to have a little bit of inventory. They buy a $1,000 bundle. These are going to be called value bundles. Why is it about value bundle? Because we're going to put a lot of value in our bundle. Because only on the first time they order, they get a chance to order something very, very good price, very good value for the money. And on that first order, if they buy a value bundle, then we will pay a 15% first order bonus. So if they buy, if they buy a $100 bundle, it's going to be what? $15. If they buy a $250, it's going to be, $27, $28. If they buy a $500, it's going to be $75. If they buy a $1,000 bundle, it's going to be $150.
People enroll, right?
And this is to the enrolled. This is a person who, so Jim makes a 15% special bonus on first order bonus on whatever bundle they buy on their first order. Now, hey, the person says, look, my first order, I just want to buy 2 mana bears. Well, buy 2 mana bears. That's okay. But now you've lost your opportunity to do what? To buy a value bundle on your first order. So what are you going to do when you bring somebody in? Show them how they can start with the best offer there is. Yes.
I can assume that bundle does not go into my customer circle.
Full QV, PPV, GPV, DPV is given on purchase price.
Is it considered part of my volume?
Yes, considered part of the bill volume. Now, if you remember, we had done something where actually we.
He's A's.
No, I'm just saying, but no. This A is going to, that's going to be DPV to A, but it's going to be DPV to Jim, and it's going to be DPV. Now, in the past, if you saw the other presentation before, we were giving the first RD, the first ND, and the first PD something, right? But when we did that, it meant we couldn't give any PPV, GPV, nothing. We couldn't afford to do any of that. So we have to look at it and say, okay, if we don't pay everybody else this, but we put DPV, if we put GPV, I mean, if we put volume on it, then everybody upline benefits from a first order. So we're not limiting it to a certain amount to the first RD, and a certain amount to the first ND, and a certain amount to the first PD, because when we did that, that's where we stopped. Because then there was no DPV, there was no GPV, there was no PPV in that order. So that's what we did. That's a change we did just in the last few weeks. But I think it's a good change, because now everybody participates on every new person who's coming in and buying a first order. Because you're going to see from the unilateral that you're going to get something from that order, you know, when we start looking at unilateral.
First order value budget is signed conditional volume.
Or 60%. So that means the CV on it will be 60% instead of 80%. The reason why is because we need to put value. So we're giving them an extra value. We have to take it from the CV. But look, 60% of CV, I mean, 60% of retail price is still fairly decent. But you want that customer to feel like they want to get, you want that first order to mean something. And you want the enroller to be able to get their 15% because they did the work. So we want to encourage people to do what? We want to encourage people to actually go out and bring new people on. Is that what you want? You want the comp plan to incentivize people to go recruit. Yes. Correct? So that's how we do that. And then we split it up so that everybody benefits in one way or the other. Okay? All right. Wow.
Mary Jo just said she likes that new change.
Oh, she likes the new change. Okay, Mary Jo. We love it. Yeah, I think it's good. Now, guys, this one is the one you got to get really excited about. Okay. Number 4, we call it mentoring bonus. Mentoring bonus. Ooh. Wow. This is the one that made me really rethink whether I want to be CEO or I want to be an associate.
During my downline, sorry.
I am tempted.
That's right.
Again, we want to incentivize behavior. And the behavior we want to incentivize is a behavior of bringing new people into the business. Right? So this bonus, the mentoring bonus, is paid to the enroller. Right? So what's that mean? So here you are. So Amanda, when you enroll somebody, right? You enroll Jim. Your job is to help Jim grow, right? You want him to start going through the ladder, right? So when Jim hits 750, right? DPV, the first, 750, guess what?
$30.
We will pay you $30 every month for the rest of the life of Jim as long as he's at 750. Now, if you help Jim get to 1,500 RD, right? At 1,500, how much is that?
$40.
$40 every month. See, I think this is like, now some people are not going to like this because it's a little crass, but I see this as like having your own little ATM machine. Every new person you bring into the business becomes like a money dispensing ATM machine. Doesn't come from them, so I'm not saying they are just, the ATM, but you created a new ATM. Every month. Ching, 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 ching. Right? Now, if you help them get to 2,500, how much you get?
$50.
$50. A crispy $50 bill. And how much you help them get to 4,000? $75. How much you help them get to 6,000 as a new ND? $100 bill. $100 bill every month. Now think about it now. Some of you, you've enrolled a lot of people already. So some of you got some $100 bills waiting for you already.
If I enroll 10 ND.
If you enroll 10 NDs, It's $1,000 a month.
I don't know.
So you just got your brand new, shiny new BMW.
Yes.
Hello, BMW, baby. All right? Yeah, and you can have it any color you want. Right? That's up to you. We don't have to make it anything. But guys, you enroll, right? You enroll people and you help them grow and cha-ching, 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 cha-ching every month. Check. I know check, right? So we have to show, as you say, cha-ching, 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 right? Guys, yeah, yes.
For the enroller, if you just enroll the person, but she didn't do anything, what happened to the enroller?
No,
She's still
herself has
qualified.
to be in the involved.
Okay, now, all right, good question. So let's say Amanda remains an RD. Okay? What's the bonus she ever gonna get? What's the highest bonus she ever gonna get from Jim? $40. Because you cannot get a mentor bonus for someone at your higher level. So that's why I said, every time you move rank, you make more money. In everything in the plan, you're gonna see that for the same organization, you're gonna make different amount of money based on what rank you are at. So here, do you think you wanna be an ND as quickly as you can?
Yeah.
Guys, if you're not an ND as quickly as you can, guess what you've done?
You enroll people.
You're just leaving a lot of money on the table. You love your upline. No, you don't like it. By the way, this bonus only gets paid to that enroller. If that enroller quits, done. It doesn't go up to anybody. I gotta have breakage. Okay, if we don't have breakage, we can't pay. If I paid $100 for every ND that we had, we'd go bankrupt first month. Right? So some enrollers are not even, you know, some people left. Some people left. Amanda, some people left. Oh my God, some of you left. It's sad. It's a sad day. Because you know what? All the people you enrolled, those were $100 bills. You just lost. So sad. So sorry. I'm sorry. That makes sense. Now, how many people are going to quit now? Guys, if you are an enrolled, now some of you, I mean, Richard, I don't know how many people you enrolled in your 21 years. But for every one of those people you enrolled, depending on what level they're at, even if they didn't go beyond national, guess what you do now? You get paid for every single one of them for whatever level they've achieved, including the lowest level. So this is like a check match at a much lower level. Guys, kind of breathe, sink this in. This is huge. Okay, I don't know of too many companies that does this, who has this kind of an income. Okay, so where are we now? Okay, we got 4. You ready for more?
Yeah.
By now, your question should be, how are you going to afford to pay all this money? You were just thinking that? But the banker in the back is going, where is he getting the money to pay for all these things?
From the volume.
Volume?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we've modeled this 20 times and still, Kevin Robbins, I'm trusting you, buddy. You told me the modeling works and we still don't overpay. So yeah, because if not, you're in big trouble with the board. if Kevin is watching, you are in big trouble with the board if we're going to pay more. I'm telling you. Okay. No, we're not. We have all the modeling we've done. That's why we need breakage, right? Because some of those enrollers left. Okay, bonus number 5 is what we call a unilevel infinity bonus. Unilevel infinity bonus. Unilevel pays 7 level. Okay, say it with me, 7. 7 level. Levels are physical levels. Physical levels. So what's a level? So now, as you grow, so this is the deal again. As you rank advance, by the way, this silver, it would go all the way to, you know, Crown Ambassador, right? 888866666. Okay? So when you first start, even as an A1, right? A1, 300, you already get 3% from your first level. Remember in that example when we said, look, if you were here, right? And if you were at 500 and you help 2 people get 500, so you're at 1,500, right? So you are RD. So as an RD, oh, what did I do? If as an RD, right, on your first level, you get what? 5%. So you get 5% of $1,000. So you get $50 for those 2 businesses that have 500. Now, if these people have people underneath them also doing some volume, guess what? You're doing what? You're getting 3%. And then if these people have people, then you're getting 2%. Now, 7 levels doesn't seem like much. Now, some of you are going to say, but you know, I've been stacking my organization all the way from here to China. I got a lot of people, and I have a lot of zeros. Oh, too bad. No. You got a lot of zeros. In June, we're going to purge the system. Purge, gone. Anybody who has a zero, who hasn't ordered in 2 years, gone out of the system. Okay? Maybe 1 year. Maybe 1 year. We might even do 1 year. We'll have to see. Anybody who's not been active for a year could be gone. Also, on the first month in July, all your zeros will be compressed. Compression means if somebody's a zero, that means the computer doesn't recognize them. So your level 4 now becomes your level 3. If the 3 was a 0, that person is still in the business. We don't take them out. They're just a 0. Not a hero, a 0. Okay. So the computer will compress them. So there's automatic compression. First month, second month, all zeros compressed again. Third month, the computer goes back and looks 3 months. And from that point on, it will compress only the people that have had 0, 0, 0 for 3 months in a row. If they have 10, then they're in there. You follow me? If they have 10 PV, they're in there. Right? It's either 0 or, so 0 or something.
I have a number of associates that order every few months, and then they order $600 or $800. They'll lose it after 3 months. Like say they order after.
No, by the way, they don't lose nothing. You just don't get paid at that level for 2 months, and on the 3rd month you get a big check. Then you don't get nothing. Then you get a big check.
So you don't take them out.
No, we don't take them out. That's why we got compressing. Only it's a computer exercise. When you go to your success tracker, those people are still there. It's just that so they don't know what's going on. The computer is doing it when they calculate your pay. So the computer knows, the computer smart knows, okay, they haven't ordered for 3 months, so we're going to compress them. Or they ordered last month, so they're still there. Even though this month they still did 0, but the month before they did something, you don't get paid at that level because it's a 0. Now, guys, obviously you understand. If you go 7 levels and you got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 6% of 0 is 0. So what's your job? Turn zeros into heroes, right? We gotta help those zeros become something. Whose job is that? That's your job. Is it a training issue? Is it an attention issue? Maybe it's a phone call. Maybe it's, hey, I haven't seen your order in the last couple of months. Is there anything I can do to help you get back in there? Whatever.
So, but all those people that are as associates should really be put into NG members.
Well, those people, that's why now you're going to be very careful where do you want to put people, right? Because if you put them as customers, you always know you're going to get at least 5% from that as a customer. If you put them in your organization and they're occupying a space and it's a 0, you've lost an opportunity to earn from that position. Does that make sense?
And really, you want people that are doing something.
You do.
Those levels. You don't want
You do.
somebody who's just a customer buying every month.
Now, guys, can we always guess right? No. So sometimes you're not. That's why we have this compression thing. So after 3 months, they'll compress out. So it doesn't affect you. For a couple of months, it's gonna affect you, right? But then it doesn't affect you. And the people who buy every 3 months, you get a big check for that position, and then you don't get, and then you get it again, which is fine. I mean, that's, now, should we teach people to do orders every month? Yeah, but you know, some people want to do it every 3 months because they can save on shipping, whatever. But then again, at the end of the day, it's the same thing. If you get 8% for 100, 100, 100, or 8% for 300, over time, it's the same amount of money, right? It's just that, you know, so now, but I want to show you something though. And then for those who are at home, I want you to pay attention to this. I hope you can see this. Because 7 levels doesn't sound like much, but 7 levels could be a lot. Okay? So let me show you how to explain this 7-level thing in a way that will make sense for people. All right, so level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, 5. Come on, you're impressed by that in a straight line. I've worked the whiteboard a lot. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? 7 levels. Okay, now I want you guys to get your calculator out. Okay? We're going to play a little game. I call this, let's play the 2 by 2 by 2 game. So if I sponsor 2, my first level, right? How many people in my business now? 2, right? And then they sponsor 2 each. How many? 4. And they all sponsor 2 each. 8. They all sponsor 2 each. 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 And they all sponsor 2 each.
No, 256.
256. Okay? So how many people total? Can you calculate this precise? How many people are in the total business? Huh? 512. Oh, you're so smart. That times 2, yes. So that's 512 people. So now let's play another game. I'm going to call it the 4 by 4 game. So now you sponsor 4, right? And they sponsor 4. Who sponsors 4? Now you got to do 16 times
64.
64. Then 256. Then 1024. No, that can be 1024.
And then 4,006.
256. Oh, that's 4. That's right. Okay. All right. Then how about
4,096.
then
16384.
384. Then
6556. 6553.
okay. Well, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 16,000. How many people is in there?
6556.
Huh?
655.
32,768. 7 levels is a lot of people. But it's a lot of people when you go wider. The difference between 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 is you get 256. 4 by 4 by 4 by 4, you get 32,768 people. Which one makes more sense? 4. Because remember, when you get on a 3rd level, if you're getting 2% on a 3rd level, you're getting 2% of what 64 people do. When you get 6%, when you're getting 6% here of what 16,384 people do, how much is that?
So that's not APO anymore. That's like.
No, this is DTV. This is commissionable volume now. We're not talking about APO. This is 80% of retail price. So guys, you understand the power of 7 levels? Okay. Good, because, you know, I get a kick of people go, only 7 levels? Do you have any idea what you're talking about? Okay, all right, now, let me talk about another concept, it's called the infinity bonus. We'll start with here, silver. At silver, you get a 1%, 1% of your side volume. So you take your biggest leg, then you take the rest of your legs, and anything, see now here you're silver, so anything below the 7 level, all the way to infinity, you get 1% of that whole business. Now yesterday we had fun calculating Dr. Hines' 1% infinity bonus. So I know Dr. Hines didn't sleep very well last night, and I know why. Because he was thinking about that 1% infinity bonus. But now what we did though is we said, okay, we're going to do the 1% where we're going to cap it 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 7,500, 10,000, 15,000, and when you get to leader 11, no caps. Let's say you have a platinum. You got 2 platinum legs. So one platinum is your biggest leg, and the other leg is so then the platinum is doing about $1 million, $2 million a month in volume, and you're getting 1% of anything below the 7 level. How much do you think that is? $100,000. Lots of money. Okay, guys, it's going to pay to be a silver presidential. What do you think? But don't stay at silver, because at silver you get capped at 2,000. That's still pretty good. That's a super duper, you know, BMW, right? That's getting close to that's a Porsche. That's getting close to a Bentley. That's a close to a Bentley payment. But let's say Dr. Hines decided he's not going to stay at silver, but he goes gold, or he goes platinum. That 2,000 now became $5,000 a month for life. Pretty much. And then it can get up to 15,000. It can get this number here, this 1% no cap at this level. I mean, it could be 25, 30, 40, $50,000 a month. Who knows? Because when we're a $1 billion company, guys, think about it. When we are a $1 billion company, do you know how much of that infinity bonus is going to be? I mean, it's obscene. It's just obscene. Okay, now before that, we have this other, what we call, this is a transition infinity bonus. Now, transition means we're going to have it there at least for a year. If you look at it, it looks very much like lifestyle bonus is today. This is, now for Andes until bronze, we're going to give you 1% infinity bonus on your biggest leg. On your biggest leg. Why? Because most of you have a big leg. Yeah. When you get into the other levels, your side volume gets bigger. But when you're in this volume, this is your biggest leg. So 1% up to 250, to 500, 750, up to 1,500. Some of you are already sitting on top of a big leg. All you got to do now is move through these ranks, and then your income grows accordingly. The more you rank advanced, the more money you make. The more you rank advanced, the more money you make. The more you rank advanced, the more money you make. Everywhere we could, we have created ways for you to make more money when you rank advanced. What is the behavior we want? Rank advancement. It's going to be exciting now when you go from one rank to the other. And it's not just because you get a $2.50 pin and you get to go on stage and get some flowers, because you get a check. You get a bigger check. Every time you grow, you get a bigger check. And that's critical, because that means people will be conditioned to what? From event to event is to grow the business. Okay, you got that? Any questions on that? All right, we're almost there. We're almost finished. Bonus number 6 is called a leader check match. Now, to be a leader, what do we consider a leader?
Senior national.
Senior national. How much is senior national? How many points? How many? 10,000. 10,000. 10,000. Okay? Now, when you get to 10,000, when you become a senior national, you will start check matching everybody in your organization that is at least national and above. And check match works this way. Basically, you get a percentage of their check. But their whole check, no. You get a percentage of their unilevel and infinity. Unilevel and infinity. So by the way, what drives the unilevel pay? How much each one of these circles are. That's why if they're $500 circles, it's better than a $100 circles. You follow me? So that's why we incentivize people to go out, get customers, create more volume, because then this pay becomes bigger. And when this pay becomes bigger, then this pay becomes bigger. Right? So, Ron, you are my national. If you made $1,000 in your infinity and unilevel, and you're my first level leader, right? I get 20% of that $1,000. I get $200. Simple? Very simple. So am I going to want Ron to get a bigger check? Yes.
Yes.
Will I help him get a bigger check? Of course. It's a win-win situation. Guys, psychologically, this is tremendous to drive the right behavior. Look, we care for each other. We're family. We care for each other. We take care of each other. We help each other. But are we going to help each other more when we know that we both stand to win the same? Now, today, if Ron grows, it might even cut your pay. Amanda. True? It could. But now, in this new plan, if Ron grows, automatically you grow. Both in DPV, but also in actual income.
And it doesn't matter who enrolled.
It doesn't matter who enrolled. This is not an enrollment plan. This is whoever is in your organization. So let's look at it this way. So here you are, right? And so these people are NDs. Right? So these people are NDs. What happens is you get paid, right? 20% of their pay. Sure, but that's more than one level. No. From a leadership level, this is still level, this is generation 0. When do you consider a first generation? When you get a L1, somebody at 10,000. So this becomes now Gen 1, right? So if everybody between you and your first generation is considered what? Generation 0. So let's say now this person has a few nationals, and then somewhere in here there's a PD. Right? So this PD now would be considered what? Gen 2. Every national in between are considered what? Gen 1.
Wow.
That's a big change we just made. Now nationals are free.
You didn't get percentage of generation 0, right?
Oh yeah, you did 20%. Oh, you get.
Over there, it didn't say generation 0.
No, I know. I'm just telling you because there's no such a thing as generation 0. But what happens if you have NDs? You get paid like if it was generation 1.
So generation 1.
So generation 1 is this.
Above
So you get
is
this
down.
and this is all generation 1. Yes, you got it. You getting it?
Is that capped?
Okay, yeah, of course. Now, if you are an L1, it's capped at 250. So you get 20% of their pay up to 250. But as soon as you become an ED, now you get what? 500 for each one of them, right? Up to 500. And if you become a PD, up to 750, and so on, all the way to 10,000 per leader that you are check matching. Per leader, not total. Per, no, per leader. Did you hear me? Per leader. It's 20% up to per leader.
So is that?
How come you're not clapping? Now you're the one not sleeping tonight. You call Steve Hines and you guys talk to each other.
That's a lot. Get your own shoes.
Guys, this is amazing.
That's a lot.
It makes a big difference that it's per liter.
Huh?
Makes a big.
Oh, big difference per liter. This is a cap. See, per downline liter.
That's a lot.
So what do you put?
You want me to cut it? Are you suggesting I'd make it less?
Well, it's a nice 5%.
Huh? Oh, no, okay, now don't get greedy in this, Julia.
So why jump too much? Like 10, like 2.5?
Yeah, because that's the only way it would work. Because yeah, look, first of all, we wanted to make it 6th generation. A lot of people do 3 generations, and that's it. And we wanted to make it 6th generation. We wanted to make it so that we gave you the ND for free. In order to give you the NDs for free, we had to cut this down. If not, there's no way we could afford it. You follow me? So now the importance of how people are closer to you becomes really a big deal. But guess what? Think about it. If we're paying you to influence, it's probably fair to say that the people closer to you are the ones you're going to influence the most. But remember, close to you doesn't mean 6th level. 6th generation could be 100 levels. There could be 100 levels before you reach 6th generations of leaders. Of leaders. Does that make sense? There's a big difference between level, which is physical level, 7 level is 7 level. The 6th generation of leaders could be 100 levels before you get to have 6 L1s and above. L1s and above. Okay? Got it?
Yeah.
All right, now we go to number 7. Now, number 7 we haven't talked about at all, so you haven't heard of this. This is a new bonus that we put in there because this is what we figured. Okay, we have this issue that at some point people will retire. And if people retire, do we want to penalize people who retire? No. It wouldn't be fair to penalize people who retire. But what we want to do is we want to create a bonus that really rewarded people who stay active. Leaders who stay active. So this pool is a global pool. So if Manatech is doing 10 million a month in business, we take 1% of that 10 million and we put it in the pool. And we divide that pool among all silver presidentials and up. But we divide it in a way that gives the people with the bigger rank more ability to get money from the pool. So basically, if you're silver, you get 1 point, gold 1.5, platinum 2, platinum 1 star 2.5, platinum 2 star 3, 3.5, 4, 5. When we did the modeling based on BP 11, I think 2016, each one of these shares was worth $1,500, assuming that every silver presidential qualified. So, well, what do I have to do to qualify? In order to qualify, you need to be enrolling at least 3 people every 3 months. Now, it could be 1 person a month, it could be 2 and 1, it could be 3 in 1 month, but the computer is going to always look back 3 months and go, did you enroll 3 people? If you enroll 3 people, you are active. If you are active, you are in a pool.
Customers too, or just associates?
Associate. This is an associate enrollment. Now, that means you're enrolling, you're putting them in your organization, but you are active and enrolled. That's the only way we can figure out active. How do we know if you're active? We don't go to your house. We don't know what you're doing. You know, I mean, come on. You know, but we know if you're enrolling, you are active. So, assuming everybody, 100% of everybody qualified, this 1 share was worth $1,500. But let's say if only 50% of those people were still active, 1 share equals $3,000 or more. So if you have 5 shares, how much are you going to get? $15,000 just in this 1 bonus. Okay? Is that good?
That's good.
How many people are gonna be silver presidentials? They qualify as silver presidentials, right? Big deal, big deal, big deal, right? Okay. All right, so, we're done. By the way, that's the 7 ways of making money. How many of you feel like you can understand this? Oh, my numbers lady, she gets it all, right? She got it all. All right, now, so let me talk about qualification criteria really fast. I think this in 5 minutes. The things you need to understand. First of all, your monthly qualifying volume is not going to be 150. But remember now, that's your PPV, which is your volume and your customer volume, 150. 150 to qualify for all the bonuses and everything else. Okay? Do you have to order it for yourself?
No.
No. Do you have to have your own qualifying order? No. Should you? Yes. Do you have to? No. As long if you have customers, they count towards your qualification, and they count towards your GPV, your DPV, and everything else. Now, when we start, we're going to start at 150, okay, all the way across, and then January 1st, 2018, still 150. However, if you go to the next level, first 6 months, 150 all the way across, but starting January, senior national, 300, 300, 500, and 500 all the way through. We believe leaders should lead by example. If you're asking people to have customers, you should have customers. If you want to buy it all for yourself, great. That's fine. You want to give it away, that's fine. But 500, okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now, DPV, you know what that is, right? That's just 300, 750, 1500, 2500, 4000, 6000, 10,000, 20,000, yeah, that's the same. All right, leg max. Until MD, your leg max is 40%, 60, 40. Right? 60% is your leg max. Until MD. And then your active legs, when we go live, it's going to be two people. You need 2 legs. At every level, you need 2 legs. Come January 2018, we're going to want you to have 3 legs. And then by ND, 4 legs. Now, these we call active legs. What's an active leg? A leg that's doing 100 points. So you're not building 4 legs. You're building 2 legs, but you got 2 other small legs. You're nurturing, you're incubating 2 other legs. You got spectators watching you do your thing. So later, when it comes time to build up a 3rd and a 4th leg, you got people there. Does that make sense? Because when you only do 2 legs, and you put everybody in 2 legs, then when it comes time to have your 3rd leg, to have your 4th leg, it's difficult. The earlier you start, the better. We want you to start early to build your width. You saw the difference between 2x2 and 4x4? Is that huge?
Huge.
Will that affect your unilateral pay? Big time, right? Okay. So, and so 60-40 here, and then it becomes 70-30 from senior national all the way through. Because now the volume is a little bigger, we're giving you a chance to get more from your big leg. Guys, we couldn't have made it easier, we could have made it fairer than what we did. Does that make sense? Folks, this was not a plan and how Manatech can pay you less. This is a plan where Manatech can pay you more. We want more big checks. We want the dream to be real. We want more people achieving levels. We want to change the mindset. We want you to all be Roger Bannisters. You know, maybe everybody who becomes a PD in July 2017, we're going to award them the Roger Bannister Award. We're going to put their names in lights. We're going to do something special with them, especially for that 1 month. I'm working on it. We want to do something really special for everybody who goes presidential and up in July 2017. July 2017 is going to be something that we have never seen in the history of this company. But for that month to be a good month for you, it's really going to be in direct proportion to how many new people, how many new eyeballs witness this magnificent event. And if you have 10 new people, if you have 20 new people watching this, That's 20 people who now believe they can be presidential. Will that change your business? Will that change your life? Makes sense. You understand what I'm saying? When do you want to start this? In June?
No.
Please, guys,
About 10 minutes.
listen to me. What are you still doing here? You should be out. Don't get doing that. Okay? All right, folks, that's it. All right.
Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. Giselle, you got lots of energy.